We're back with some more German history here. We're talking about how we went from an empire into a republic and now into a dictatorship. I'm not sure how many of these videos are getting out now because I feel like the algorithm's got something to say out of them. But we're just going to go ahead and keep creating them. So we're now into the phase where Hitler's risen to power. And I talked about in the last video how democracy didn't collapse in Germany with tanks in the streets. It was a more quiet process. It was more paperwork than anything else. And then the laws, of course, that were created throughout the entire process. And so with the collapse, we have the laws, we have people convincing themselves that this was just going to be, a temporary situation. But by 1933, the freedom in Germany was already slipping away, and most people just didn't realize it yet. And then on February 27th, 33, the German Parliament building, the Reichstag, we talked about in the last one, it caught on fire mysteriously. A young communist was arrested at the scene, and within hours, Hitler and his allies blamed the fire on a communist uprising. And whether the fire was set by one man or it was used as an excuse, it doesn't really matter. What mattered was how the government responded. And so, the very next day, the president signed the Reichstag Fire Decree, and it suspended the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, the right to assemble, and protection from unlawful arrest. So police can now arrest people without charges, newspapers were shut down, and political opponents just disappeared. And all of it was legal, and most Germans were told it was temporary. 1 month later came the final blow, and that was the Enabling Act that gave Hitler the power to make laws without parliament, ignore the Constitution, basically rule by decree. Members of parliament were threatened, opposition leaders were arrested, the vote was forced through, and with that single law, democracy ended. There was no coup, there was no revolution or anything, it was just silent acceptance. After 1933, political parties were banned, trade unions were dissolved, the press was under the control of the government, dissent became dangerous, and Germans, well, they still went to work, they still went to school, they still lived their daily lives. But freedom was gone, and once it disappeared, it didn't come back. So the Weimar Republic didn't fall all at once. It eroded slowly, legally, quietly. And by the time most people realized what had happened, there was no way to stop it. In the next episode, if you get to see this, I want to talk about how dictatorship became everyday life and why so many people went along with it. Thanks for watching.